Greetings and welcome back to Dinset's Techie Not Badass. I am turning a light on because I forgot. Other than that, oh, come on, where is this? You know, just when it looks like things are going to be smooth for me, I have to go and do something like this. I was wondering, why does it seem so dark in here? There we go. And position it like this. I guess we're giving everybody a chance to hop in and say hellos, all that stuff. Got me a sweet Madonna shirt right here. You know, she has that song True Blue, but this is actually from just a few years ago when she hit like 50 number ones or something. I guess including Dance Chart or something. But at any rate, 50 of her songs reach number one on some chart, I guess. Which that's some output right there. In the 80s, she was kind of like about tied with Whitney Houston, but if you also count Genesis, then Phil Collins had the most number ones during that time. But also like hot on their heels is George Michael was really popular in the 80s. Madonna's always reinvented herself. I thought this looked like a cool shirt. Would probably look pretty good with my blue blazer. Maybe do some videos kind of with this look. Perhaps even do some gigs. But it's a little rough. This was a thrift find on eBay. And so it's not really, it kind of, I don't know. It almost looks a little bit more Madonna-esque with these sort of like cuts in it. We are calming down after Hollow Knight Silksong. I've been listening to Christopher Cross, just trying to take it easy. It's all right. Think we're going to make it, you know? I went sailing, no, but what I've got in store for us today is called Blueprints. Blueprints, almost like blueprints. I heard it's a puzzle game. Oh, look at that. You're getting more with Game Pass. Whoa. Whoa. Dude. Whoa. Ultimate just leveled up. 500 games, including Outworlds. If you want day one access, are they still going to do this if you don't buy the deluxe edition? Are they going to do this day one access with the price increase and still have 2 day earlier than day one, like negative day sort of shit? Minus World Day for the people that got the deluxe version? Are they still going to pull that shit? That's what I'm curious to know. Because if you now you're really charging some money for day one access that isn't day one, right? Like they want you to be streaming your games. Look at all the games you can stream now. The really bad thing about this, probably the worst part of the whole price hike, that online console multiplayer. Not needed to play PC multiplayer. You don't need Game Pass, do you? But you have to fork out at least $120 a year to play multiplayer on your Xbox now. I remember when that was 50. And I mean, the little slew of games you get for that, it may as well just be the same deal. We were getting games with gold. You were getting more games with gold than you get in that little 25 game group for being basic. I'm allowed to talk to my friends online Game Pass. If you want your day one access, you have to get Ultimate. Oh, you don't want the PC stuff because you don't have a gaming PC like me? Screw you. You have to get Ultimate. Oh, you want that day one access, but you don't want to pay for this Fortnite stuff? Screw you. You're getting that Fortnite crew thing. Get used to Fortnite. Those Ubisoft classics you could pick up for $4.99. They're included in here too now. Yeah, had to throw some stuff in there to make this sound like some kind of bargain, I guess. Additionally, there was what else is it? Oh yeah, right. The game streaming. There's a guy online, I've mentioned this, Green Ranger. He thinks this guy Green Ranger on Reddit said that the plan is to make all of this out of reach. The price is so high to buy games, the price is high to subscribe, and then put out devices that are only for streaming. So you have to, you can't put a disc in and play your games. You can't put a card in and play your games. Those games don't exist. They are only streamed. If the game is only released as a streaming service, there may be no way to pirate it whatsoever. It'll be for the industry, because of piracy, we have to make everything a game stream now. That it'll be like in the name of it, you can get people to do stuff if it's in the name of safety. Well, to fight piracy. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I guess you have to. To fight piracy, you have to subscribe to our service or you don't play any games, period. Oh, your TV? We made the TVs now where they'll reject the image from your hooking up your NES because it might be pirated. So, yeah, it's for safety, right? For the good of the industry. Let's get some blueprints going. I thought somebody would say hi by now, but I guess not. Blueprints. Look, it looks like blueprints. Blueprints. Blueprints? Blueprints. Why can't I? Blueprints. Blueprint. Blueprints. Blueprints. Screw it. We're opening up a new Red Bull. It is an OG Red Bull with their racing look on there. Still not sponsored. I don't know why that is exactly. Oh, right. I'm a male and I'm from Kansas and I don't have blue hair. I don't have blue hair or some comical lack of an upper lip and making people do stuff for my entertainment, but they might make money in the process. Hey, if I put you on fire and you last long enough, you might get some money out of it. Everyone who watches this wins. First thing I gotta do, gotta make sure the look's inverted. Have to do this for every godforsaken first-person game. What kind of graphics are we running? No options. Volume is on. We're just gonna chill and we're gonna solve some damn puzzles. Maybe this will be like Mystery of Time and Space, a Flash game from about 03. I know it had to be 03. I was playing in high school. Or it could have been a little earlier than that even. Loading times, shit. A game by Tonda Ross. Where is everyone? I'm not Silksonging anymore. Maybe that's why.
I give and bequeath to my grandnephew, Simon P. Jones, son of my dear niece, Mary Matthew, all of my right, title, and interest in and to the house and land which I own near Mount Holly. The above provision and bequest is contingent on my aforementioned grandnephew discovering the location of the 46th room of my 45-room estate. The location of the room has been kept a secret from all the staff and servants of the manor, but I am confident that any heir worthy of the Sinclair legacy should have no trouble uncovering
That's the blueprints.
grandnephew fail to uncover this room or provide proof of his discovery to the executors of my will, then this gift shall lapse.
Odd way to say that, shall lapse.
I have hereunto set my hand this 18th day of March, 1993. Herbert S. Sinclair.
It takes place in 1993. It may as well be an anime, Atticus. This is Blueprints. But you can think of that as blueprints. I'm having a hard time saying the difference here. It's 1993. You better drive up to this estate in a sweet RX-7. Ah, you don't. Docking points. It does have a little bit of an anime thing going, doesn't it, with the cell shading here. Well, these are the grounds. What is it? Great uncle left the estate, but you have to solve the mysteries to be a worthy heir to the throne. All right, am I hitting A on that? Open only in the event of my death. Simon, welcome to Mount Holly. You may not remember, but I have fond memories of your many visits here as a young boy, and I hope these rooms provide you with as much amusement as it did in those lost summer days. This is the best reason to become rich, so that you can make people jump through hoops to get some of your money. Or make them think they're going to get some of your money, right? Because no matter how good you do at this game, you don't get any money, right? Realistically. Do you pay any bills? Kind of. By the time you read this, I will assume you are fully aware of my last wishes and all the details of the bequest. Please do not mistake my intentions in giving you this challenge as a lack of confidence. I assure you, nothing could have been further from my mind when I chose you as my heir. Plot twist. What if you're like the 5th person to try this and you start finding skeletons of the, you're my favorite niece, you're my 2nd favorite dog, you know? With that said, there are a few ground rules on this commission covered in the fine print of my will that I feel I should bring to your attention. No tools or items may be brought onto the estate from the outside. The outside! I probably can't even go to the outside. Tools and items found on the estate may not be taken off the estate. You may not stay overnight. Ooh. Sounds like a pressing matter. Your name is Simon, like Simon Belmont? Comments aren't showing up. I don't think that anything I do can make your comments show up. Chat is ready to display. It's not showing anything, is it? It should be. Well, I guess the chat box just doesn't work today, guys. I'm sorry. That said, okay, look, guys, the chat's not working, but you know who is working? I think you know. Diva Pauline, right? They normally do show up. Yeah, but yours don't. I thought that's what you were saying. There isn't a way for me to make that happen. I'd have to start the stream over again, and even then I can't be sure. Because if I see this much saying that the chat's ready to display, then it should be good. You guys can still talk to each other on the YouTube side chat, right? And I can see what you're saying. Unfortunately, if anybody from Twitch gets in here, there's going to be problems. I think you may have time limit. You're not allowed to stay overnight. I've heard this is a roguelite, so I guess the puzzles have different solutions, perhaps, so you can't look them up online. If your name is Simon, then maybe put Simon in there, because I can't remember people's names. I'm not a kindergarten teacher or some shit. I don't suspect that any of these stipulations should prove an impediment for someone as resourceful as yourself, but it is very important to me that you start fresh each morning and not rely on the success of the previous day. One final word of advice. Do not assume the rooms you find today will be the same you find tomorrow. These grounds have provided me a home for the last half-century, and even I am uncertain of which room lies beyond any particular door. Your grandmother used to say, "Don't go where the path leads. Abandon the path and go where you want it to lead." With all my love and wishes, best of luck. Herbert F. Sinclair, maybe? Yeah, you guys are just going to have to go with the side chat. I'm sorry. If I would know it wasn't working if that area was blank. That's the problem. But it's not. So searching the estate can be exhausting. Each time you enter a room, you will lose one footstep. When you no longer have any footsteps left, you will be too tired to continue searching the manor and must call it a day. Okay, so you're kind of almost seems like luck a bit, doesn't it? You got lucky and picked the right doors and solved the right puzzles to get to the secret. You must have blueprints. Wow, look at that incredible animation. It was like he actually picked it up. You found the Mount Holly blueprints. Man, this game's making me lisp or something. This will serve as a useful map and inventory log during your adventure. You may access the blueprints by pressing RT. So I guess you make all the wrong choices, and then you go, okay, I'm not going there anymore. I'm going to go up. So that's what we're looking for right there, the ante-chamber. I mean, look. You only have so many steps you can take, right? So the shortest way there is probably going to be this way, unless there's a path, a cord, like, oh, over here, you took the stairs. You know what I'm saying? Is there anything over here? No, it's... All right, let's get to puzzle solving. Whenever you enter this room, you gain 2 steps. Select a room to draft. Well, let's draft a bedroom. So I'm kind of choosing what's going to be behind the door. The trunk is locked. The girl. Somebody's got a crush. Alec Baldwin plus Mel Gibson equals Von Fry. So it's I have a delusional but kind of hot yoga wife that thinks she might be Spanish now, and plus I beat her. Is that me? And I have a ton of sons. Like, oh, also I shoot women. So Alec Baldwin shoots women. Mel Gibson at least threatens them. And that equals me, huh? I don't see anything I can do with that, any turning it over. I'm not seeing a jump. There's no path of pain here, guys. Greetings from Reddington. You'd think I could turn that over, but... A spare room, a corridor. How about... Oh, it looks like maybe we get a jewel of some kind if it's a den. Well, that was a pretty easy room to solve. I guess. Game's not hideous, right? I mean, I think it's running at a good 60. You know, I saw some discouraging footage today from the Yuka Replay 2. Is that what it is? Ukulele Replay. So it's a remaster And it is not hitting 60 FPS on the Switch 2. But it is on the PS5. And that is the kind of game that should flourish on a Switch 2. And that's really discouraging. It really seems like the Switch 2 is going to be for the exclusives, right? So I have one device here that only does multiplats. The other one will do the exclusives. We've picked up a gem. This is a clock. Is that the correct time? No, I don't think so. I don't think that's a clue. I just meant looks, but who knows what Vaughn gets up to when the camera isn't. Oh yeah, I'm certainly kicking girls in the cooch and stuff whenever the camera's not on. And sometimes when it is, depending on the game. All right, well, see, I thought we were solving puzzles, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we just push forward. Let's go to the bathroom. Wow, +4 of those. Now, wait a minute. This has a puzzle piece. So let's head to the parlor. Giving a little bit of that Annapurna, The Remains of Edith Finch. Pretty good walking sim. Walking sim with some puzzle solving. It's a bit of a story rich. Worth checking out if you haven't played it. I think I did a review of it that 3 people watched. Now, if I said it sucked, people probably would have been all over it. Wind up key, a component of the parlor game. Parlor, rank 2. This is a rank 2 parlor. I just started, I'm already rank 2. All right, this box is blue. The gems are in a true box. True blue. Like I was just telling you about Madonna, and I'm wearing the Madonna shirt. It's like I have ESPN. This box is black. If a Madonna song plays because I put this, no way. Is there other rules over here? Dear Herbert, it was a great honor receiving the invitation to dine at your estate with the Oldhams. Old Hams? This past month, Thursday. If I'm being frank, it had, and you can call me Shirley, but it had, can I still be, oh, hey, can I still be Garf? Like, I can't do a Garf. I'd been quite a while since we had been in decent society, and we were beginning to worry that my wife's wit had lost its charm. I have no delusions that my company is rival to hers. If I can refresh your memory, we both spent much of that evening discussing our mutual love of games and puzzles, and I had mentioned to you a rather singular parlor game I had played some years back, involving 3 boxes of different colors. You had pressed me to write with the particulars of this game when I found the time, and I have included with this letter all the details you will need to share with guests should you be inclined to play this confounding game. The combination of hand-drawn and 3D animation simply doesn't work, and it never will. About that, you might get kind of mad, but I would. Okay, so I updated my phone finally so that I could access Grok Imagine. And with that, I can now pretty well, although the resolution isn't amazing, animate the Von Fry figures, you know, the cartoon of me that with the red, and I can probably pull one of these in here to show you real quick what that could kind of look like. Now, there is a trick to that. I'm going to have to go through a few steps because I don't have a real pro editor to try. I added the blue in there so that I could composite it out, but the blue screen on iMovie on the Mac is crap. It's actually better on the iPhone. It's going to give me some limitations, but I should have a pretty robust set of animations that are nigh classic Disney. Like, I mean, not far off. I've made about 20 animations I can throw into a future video. They might appear. I might actually just read the script for the Scream trilogy. I wrote the script yesterday. The Scream trilogy video. It has an excellent thumbnail, by the way. And use the red guy there, and also the magnum opus, the rise and fall of action movies. I may do that off camera with these animations. I haven't really. I had shot something. I'm not super happy with it. I don't know. But anyways, just thought I'd give the one person watching a sneak peek at that. All right. There will always be at least one box which displays only true statements. There will always be at least one box which displays only false statements. Only one box has a prize within. The other two are always empty. Okay. This box is black. I would say that's a true statement. The gems are in a true box. This box is blue. Since both of these are true statements, and one of them has to be lying, could be gems are in the true box, the white box. There will always be at least one box which displays only true statements. There will always be at least one box. At least one box. Two boxes could display true statements. Only one box has a prize within. The other two are empty. There will always be at least one box which displays only false. Now, I've heard of this sort of game with two things. There's one guy and he always lies, and there's another guy who always tells the truth. And you're supposed to beat the redhead. That's what I always did. Here, yes, that's blue. This might just be a luck thing. Say what you will about Dave Cullen, but at least his animated avatar looks like him. You need to make one that looks like you. I had a talented young artist gal that I was playing Overwatch and games with. Made me and my mom, and we're going to stick with it. I think it kind of looks like me. When I have the hood, when I was doing the stuff with the hoodie, kind of does. But, I mean, she had her own art style, and I thought it looked unique. So it's not exactly like my nose or anything, but yeah, I thought the stuff looked pretty good. Come to think, I'm going to have to put that through a few different processes in order to use that, what I showed you. Can we agree that Dave Cullen first of all, there is no animator. His stuff is stills, okay? There's no animation on Dave Cullen. I'm going to say this is true. Wow. No, are you sure? These are the gems, right? Okay. Well, I just beat that game, I guess. Nook, one key, a breaker box. Let's see what a breaker box is. My stuff is at least animated. Now, I did some of that animation myself. All the squiggly lines, making the, like there's wind. The jog vlog's probably not returning. I'm getting worse. Since Silksong, I have not even been on my stationary bike. And I used to stationary bike 3 times a week. So, I mean, the thing I'm still doing, though, is the 40 pull-ups a day. I'm still pulling that in. But yeah, I'm falling behind. That's why I was really needing to take some time off on the streams. VAC indicators. Danger. Toggling breaker switches. That's easy to read. may result in unexpected loss of floor plan functionality. Please call DC Power if you require assistance. Keycard entry system. Maybe as you make more rounds through this. Curious about the garage. Maybe this is the thing where it's like you have to turn them all blue. Had them all off, right? Yeah, people were so unenthusiastic about the jog vlog, Atticus. That's part of the issue. All the comments are, why are you running? Thoughts on John Cena's retirement? Too soon? Or not soon enough? I mean, I missed it. Did he retire today? I thought he had 4 more dates planned. But they weren't saying what. Or am I behind? I haven't really been looking at the news today. I've been making Grok imagine versions of me doing shit. Well, utility room's sort of a dead end. And there is no run. A pantry plus 4. Why a lavatory? Like, you're not going to gain anything. But you might lose something. Oh, I can see this having started as a PC game, right? Well, being that that's a dead end. Wow, we're not even doing mirror reflections in 2025. You're not behind, but his last WrestleMania has been and gone. I guess it's December. There should be a thing for him. There's too much done, like, public with wrestling. Like, people know how many dates he has left, right? The big stuff rarely changes hands outside of WrestleMania now, so that it can be a WrestleMania moment. It's all a bunch of trash. I'm kind of interested in the Monday Night War stuff more so than the modern, if that makes sense. Because at least that was interesting. There's not much of a war going on right now. Can we agree? AEW poses no threat. You got the basement marks over there going, this is awesome. When you got a bunch of like flyweights jumping around on each other. See, the problem is, it's like the two options we have today are both mediocre or worse. One, the stars go out there and they just point to a sign saying, meet me at WrestleMania, or some PLE. The other one, you got a bunch of midgets, lightweights that just jump around. You don't have big guys that can slam anyone, or hardly ever do. Yeah, the lack of fans in the crowd is actually pretty depressing. I don't know. And the girls are all thick. Like, it's just we don't have a version of mainstream wrestling out there that's like either peak WCW or peak WWF. Oh, I realize what this game reminds me of. That Rotoscope movie with Keanu Reeves. Oh, that guy made a couple of them. He also makes some other stuff. Scanner Darkly? Was that it? Was that the one with the Winona Ryder nude scene, but it's drawn, so it's not? Or was it is it Waking Life and a Scanner Darkly? I think Waking Life might have been first. Let's go to the storeroom. Food for sale. Gym required. Do I need food? Am I going to get exhausted? Aha. I don't even have to earn this shit or what? Hey, let's put that in the trunk. Was there something else? I thought there might have been 4 things on the chart there. You know what's crazy is I thought we would never get games that looked like the original Toy Story back, 30 years ago. And now we're well past that, but we also don't even try. So I'm seeing some really impressive looking graphics for this Dragon Quest VII remake thing, but I have a feeling that's all cutscenes or what it will look like on a PS5 Pro. Let's use. Not a lot of confirmation here. You just hit A. Can I grab both? Oh, they both counted. Okay. But that was a gold key. Maybe I burned a gold key where I shouldn't have. This is kind of a cool table, I guess, right? Scanner. I've never seen that. Maybe I need to look and see where it might be on Tubi. I think I saw at Waking Life or Scanner Darkly show up around Tubi or Hulu. It sounds like something that would be over there, right? We've got a problem. Am I imagining shit or was that a door earlier? May have to call it a day here. How do I look at the blueprints? Yeah, there's nowhere to go. So we're going to call it a day. Are you sure you want to? Call it a day. Tomorrow you will wake to find the rooms of the estate as well as your current inventory will have been reset. Oh, shit. As well as the inventory. Well, I don't have anywhere I can put this stuff. I'll do a nude scene, damn it, but it's got to be rotoscoped. But actually, I mean, hell, how do we know she wasn't also, wearing, the version of Spanx at the time or a onesie or something, right? Shoot. Oh, I love me some big puzzles. Pretty sure you can see more of her than she may have intended in Autumn in New York with Richard Gere, right? Richard Gere has a way of bringing that out in the women, right? Like I just saw this article about why Julie Roberts has never done a nude scene, and I'm like, pretty sure in her star-making role that occurred, and they didn't have the CGI technology to try to pull this sort of move off. Well, I think I've got no choice but to call it a day, unless I can knock over a vase. Does this count as outside? What are we doing? Pretty sure I had people asking me to play this last night, or 2 nights ago. Oh. My recommended videos is live webcam, Winter Garden, Florida. Wow. Well, what's happening there? It said don't get any tools from the outside. Do you get to break the rules and bring some tools with you? Maybe. campsite due to the rules set forth in your great uncle's will. You are not allowed to stay in the estate overnight. Luckily, however, your scouting skills have been put to good use to fabricate a very respectable off-site sleeping quarters. You may call it a day at any time from the blueprint to return to the campsite for the night. With that said, I don't think time is passing in the game. I don't see a clock. Well, I think we have no choice but to call it a day, even though that might be part of the puzzle in a sense. Sure, you did stuff to acquire keys, but you have nowhere to use them. Oh, well, now you have places to go, but you don't have the keys. It's a picturesque intersection with cars and people on the sidewalk. Looks like Main Street USA at Disneyland. Maybe that's why it's popular. There is a webcam or a channel about a bridge. It's called like the 12-4 bridge or something. And it's like a lot of semi-trucks or people passing by with stuff on the top of their truck. They don't obey the height limit and they scrape. So you see things scraping. And then sometimes you see people crash without scraping the bridge. It's funny. I don't remember the name of it, but I'm sure you can find it. Save and continue. See how close we can get to this, I don't know, magic room. I didn't get a single achievement for that. Day 2. There are a number of games like this, Simon. And not like this, but in the indie genre, there are games where it's like you build up abilities over time. You'll have some permanent ability that allows you to progress. Even though you reset, you will go further. Let's try this one because that was closed off. Hallway. Okay, so this is what we're not thinking about here, okay? If it's a hallway, I have more rooms to visit. You understand what I'm saying? So I haven't been linking the rooms in that regard. Jay, want to know how I got these cars? Hey, you want to know how I got these cars? So I told them. Sometimes Jay Leno does this thing where he's like, yeah, so oh, let me tell you something. And then he kind of goes into this like fake deep voice thing. And that's his whole thing, really. I should have done a Jay Leno during the Hollow Knight stream. I need to write that one down. Possibly a Jay Leno impression before I forget. I'm trying to write down all my impressions. God's sake. I thought I wrote all that shit down. It's McLaren F1. You know, something like that, right? Let's go to the storeroom. You know, so we had a door over here, right? And now that should be nothing. Because I don't think anything could be there, right? Once you have drawn 4 plans, you must... Oh, shoot, I have to pick something? Okay, well, how about the Nook? We'll look at that in a sec. I would really like to run... It's a little bit different, isn't it? We had a safety pin. These might be some kind of clues, too. Hey, honey, can you get my drawing of a crowbar? Yeah, I really need to make sure we had that in the house. Doors in the west wing are more likely to be locked. Oof. Items for sale. Let's try that in the commissary. His appearance on The Simpsons in the 90s was pretty good. Krusty called him some big chin. I can't even remember. It's kind of a bad deal that that Jay Leno, if he was on The Simpsons, it had to have been one of the earlier times where celebrities playing themselves. No one watches T.S. Unk and never will. Oh yeah, I mean, grammar's not really working for you. Zinke, is English not a first language? You're talking to yourself. You got the yourself right. I'll give you that. The commissary will be closed day 12 to day 16. Sorry for any inconvenience. Okay, well, we've got a gym we use to open, but I don't have money. Salt shaker, shovel, sledgehammer, boom, boom, why don't you call my name? Don't. All right, well, we've got to try to get an item, but I don't think those are going to be permanent. Look at this. What is that? Diagonal blocks? What's up with those lines? Those can't be eyes, are they? Daigi blocks, I don't know. Spare room, parlor. There's a puzzle. Here we go. Now we've changed the puzzle a little bit. I think we're looking at the same rules here. There will always be at least one box that displays only true statements. There will always be at least one box which displays only false statements. Only one box has a prize, the other two are empty. So they've changed the puzzle up a little bit. All three boxes contain gems. That's probably false. This box contains gems. The other two boxes contain gems. It seems like this is the answer to me. If all three, then this works. If this one is true, then it works. If this one is true, this one still works. Haha, sucker. I don't know what's going to happen to his car collection. He doesn't have anybody to leave it to. His wife's got the dementia thing happening. Jay seems fairly healthy. I mean, except for, he's running around almost like he's Evil Knievel, getting in wrecks. Falling, getting in wrecks, whatever. Staff notice effective the first week of December. Payroll for all live out and seasonal staff will be managed electronically, as your attendance will no longer be registered at morning roll call. It is doubly important that you do not fail to clock in and out at one of the electronic computer terminals on the estate. Two of these terminals can be found at security, where the punch clock used to be, and in the laboratory. Any questions or concerns regarding this process should be directed, as always, to our house manager, Mrs. Babbage. Like Babbage's, where I used to get computer games. They had computer games more. Babbage's had like computer games, really. And then it became like EB games, Electronics Boutique, then EB games. And people were loving it. And then GameStop came in, gobbled it all up, did predatory shit, and now they're a meme stock. Terminal password, can't read it. Maybe he'll live long enough to see all those cars become illegal to drive. Mostly with the car stuff, you're grandfathered in for a lot of things. Safety isn't... You don't have to have airbags on your 57 Chevy, things like that. If we have demanded that it has to be like a fully autonomous driven grid, then those things wouldn't be, public road worthy, I guess. 2 days only. All items 50%. Day 20 and 21. Oof. But we also have... So you really want to come in here late, but you don't have any currency. Unless you start finding some ways to really make some bucks. Guest bedroom plus 10. Unfortunately, I kind of need the rumpus room, don't I? Or a pantry. Let's go with pantry. Well, I don't know. My coins don't carry over, do they? Make me Tom Hanks. I wonder if the fortune teller from Big, was that a thing, or did they make that for the movie and then they made them like licensed to try to be like the movie? Observatory. +1 for each time you've drafted observed. I don't know what that is. +1 sparkle. Well, let's read this. The Fixed Stars, the Stargazer's Companion to Constellations by Richard Witt. 1809. How accurate can it be? Preface. This book contains a complete star base, a list of constellations and the observed effects that accompany the appearance of each one, depending on the number of stars that can be. And I was thinking of playing Mario Galaxy. So now we're doing star stuff. Should I go buy Galaxy? So Shopkeeper was telling me, Hero Shopkeeper was telling me that, and I'm seeing this from other people too, that Mario Galaxy 2 has problems. Like if you're using the Pro Controller, it's still a motion thing happening and it's weird and clunky, and because it's supposed to be a Wii thing, I guess. But maybe that's still worth picking up. Also, might actually consider starting spooky stuff maybe tomorrow, as soon as tomorrow possibly. Looking at Dead Space remake or Resident Evil 4 remake. Playthroughs of those. Now, I haven't played Dead Space, but I have done the RE4 remake. And I think the Dead Space is a remaster. But the RE4, I'm going to have to get my pistol-only thing out of the way and, try to do something entertaining for you guys, if that's the way we go. But yeah, something I'm thinking about. Craig Ferguson, the only talk show host who isn't annoying. Everyone loves Craig Ferguson, but his show was so cheap. They definitely had a plan, and the plan was get the hottest actresses up and coming that we can. If you're hot and you're like 35 or under, you're coming on the show. And that was pretty much the plan of attack. Otherwise, I don't know whatever else they did there. They had a guy named Jeff that with a G that was a skeleton. It looked like a really small, almost like he was in an office shooting it. Like couldn't have had more than 60 people in the crowd. but people miss it. And since he's been gone, they've actually had 2 people strike out with a show after late night. After the late show. So the skeleton with the mohawk, Jeff, right? I don't think I've ever seen a full episode of Craig Ferguson's show. It was probably running opposite. Well, shoot, was he on? By the time he had a show, Conan O'Brien was probably out of the... God, what was his show? It's something with Conan O'Brien featuring, and me, Andy Richter. The Tonight Show. The Tonight Show. What? Maybe Conan was already kicked off the Tonight Show by the time Craig Ferguson had a show. Or had the Tonight Show and then got kicked. What was it with Conan? I watched it all the damn time. What the hell was it? The something with Conan. I don't want to look it up. I'm not talking about Conan on TBS. Conan's never receding hairline is pretty creepy. And it is tall. His hair is always tall. He is hosting the next Oscars. And there is a chance, there is a possibility that Conan may be introducing people to give him an Oscar. He's on this movie they're cutting a path for. I'd Kick You If I Had Feet, or I'd Kick You If I Had Legs, with Rose Byrne, and he might get a Best Supporting Actor Oscar. I'm just saying. Depending on the number of stars that can be seen in the sky on a given day, different constellations of various sizes may be visible, sometimes more than one on a single day. This book, A Solid Base for Astronomy, will help you easily identify these constellations, impress your friends, and discover the joy of stargazing. North Star. So you're going to add stars the more you bring up, the more you draft the observatory. The twins, the constellations are such crap. It's like, what is the rule for how much distance can be between stars when we look at them and call them a constellation? Because we're looking at, millions of light years between them, right? But we're like, no, that's close enough. That guy looks like a horse. The Slice, 3 steps. Diamondus Minor, 1 gem. Southern Cross, rooms with 4 doors, are more common today. There's going to be things that happen in the house, huh? Farmer's Apple, apples are extra delicious today. Clavis, the key, you get a key, huh? Diamondus Major, 5 gems. Now that is a constellation right there, jeez. The irony being that he was too much leg already, the lanky bugger. Conan, 6'4", oftentimes, ridicules anybody average size on his show. Though I do recall when Paul White was on there, he was like, wow, shaking your hand, it's like my hand goes back into time to like 1986. It's like, Paul White, Big Show. Yeah, he's like, usually these guys come out there like 5'7". Yeah, but God, I gotta think, a show I must have watched 1,000 episodes of. I can't think what it is. The Late Show. It's later with Conan. It's the something with Conan O'Brien. God. Drax is the dead end rooms are more common. Oof. The sale. Everything is 50% off. Nice. Glorious bloom of the sky. Green rooms are more likely to contain special flowers today. And that's the end of our book. Let's see what kind of thing we have in the observatory here. Guess we gotta climb to look. No? Okay. I don't think we're gonna see much of shit. Doesn't look dark enough. Whoa! Crank it. Was LeBron more deserving of the... Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, God. He is LeBron James is gaslighting himself so hard right now. Like, the decision to... It's done in a way... Okay, we're going to lift this up. Is what we're going to do. Crank it. There we go. Again. No. No. Trying to see if I'm really controlling where that goes. Okay, let's see if I can look through this. Boy. LeBron James has reporters just constantly talking about how he's making history. No one's ever done this at such a high level. You got all this shit all the damn time, right? Let's see here. I think we need to look out this door, right? No. Okay, so that's as far as it goes. Come on, game. Unless there's a way to open those shutters. You know, spin the room. I was not a big Kobe fan, but I mean, you used to. I think the thinking was that he seemed self-centered, right? That's almost. Is that gonna count? Oh, come on. But LeBron James just takes everything up a notch, doesn't he? Like the ultimate in being insufferable. Says that's maxed. Oh, we have this wheel too, don't we? If only one could reach it. I would think that this thing could rotate. Alright, well, we're gonna go to the next room. Ah. Courtyard by... Oh no, not enough gems. Well, we can get a gem at the den. Denny's. Don't even really have to do a puzzle. Let's see. Secret passage leads to a room of a color of your choice. Chapel. Whenever you enter chapel, you lose $1. It looks kind of cool. Let's go. Paul, when I'm not in the ring, I'm flashing little Latina maids in motels. Is that what he does? Is he still with AEW, kind of like as a commentator? Because last I saw of that, and this was sometime years ago, they had him. They actually had a pretty cool concept where they had AEW Dark and Dark Elevation, where it was like a YouTube show. But the problem was they would do, what is it? Collision or Dynamite or something, and then shoot immediately the two YouTube shows. So people were not sticking around for that shit. They're like, we're already here for these, you know, quasi-name people who cast-offs of WWE. Now these up-and-comers, yeah, we're not doing that. But Paul White was like a commentator, and the headset was fighting hard to not snap in half. His just giant noggin was really putting some flex into the headset. We've got a jockey a duster person, a clean street sweeper, I don't know, gardener, and a pizza baker. What do we have here? A journey noteworthy. As you continue on your adventure. This must be the room that I opened and said I'd go back into. So we're cut off. As you continue on your adventure, you may want to consider getting something to scribble down your notes and observations. A pad, scrap of paper, or perhaps most fittingly, a journal will prove to be an invaluable tool you will not regret having beside you on your journey. Still haven't, man, there's only 16 achievements. This game's not giving them away. All right, if we can find the study, the library, is that the study I'm at right here? That's a nook. The den does have a room going up. So get a library, perhaps summon a journal, get an achievement for finding a journal maybe. I like how the doors stay open. All right, courtyard. Gives us a little bit of room. May as well use the gems, they don't carry over. Boy, that's tiny. It's just like, well, we just don't have a ceiling here. A nursery. Whenever you draft a bedroom, gain 5. It's going to cost you a gem. All right, well, we'll go into this bedroom. I wouldn't say this is the most enthralling gameplay mechanic, but there are some interesting things about this. This is fairly unique. It's also giving me narcolepsy. So there's that. The Rock is really starting to show his age. He kind of has the gaunt Ozempic. He does a bit. I think that he hit the wall with the training. And he's like, you know what? I'm not going to get more muscular, so why don't we just call it a day and just try to be skinny for a little bit and see how we can do. Remember how he looked around the game plan? How thin he was in that? I think that's kind of where he wants to kind of reside. Bald, thin Dwayne Johnson. Security. View inventory of all items currently in the house. The lavatory will cut you off. A guest bedroom at least gives you something. No, honestly, I'm almost out of space. Sinclair, just wanted to write you a quick note thanking you for the weekend. I had a thrilling time on the hunt with Lord Evanson, whose peculiar personality somewhat made up for your own absence. Ha 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 ha. I also got to appreciate the new game in the billiard room. It's been ages since I've seen the billiard room in the house. I was beginning to suspect you retired the floorplan. It was well worth the waiting, though, as I always enjoy your mathematical puzzles, and appreciated that I didn't need to know the rules of darts to play your variation. Hoping your health improves shortly. He did. I streamed through all of Voyager a few years ago, and it was in SD. That was kind of a big ask. Thought about doing the same for Deep Space Nine, which I always hear is better, but it looked so bad. It did not even have the quality of Voyager on Netflix or Paramount or whichever I was watching it on. And Dwayne Johnson was in there, And he got his ass kicked, I think, as a gladiator by 7 of 9. And then almost ever since, like, I've seen him getting his butt kicked when he's a guest star on a TV show in, you know, like late 90s, early 2000s. But now that he's a movie star, he has in his contract he can't lose a fight. Well, Jason Statham also can't lose a fight. So then you end up with Hobbs and Shaw, bunch of bullshit. So no, he didn't lose the fight. He ran away. But this guy, well, he didn't lose the fight, but he did fall out a window. It's like, you know, that kind of stuff. Okay, billiard room, darts. Compass. Draw floor plans leading north more frequently. Okay. Do I get to keep that? Inventory, compass. Now, I'm a little concerned that that's going to get taken away from me. We're busted. We're out of rooms. Nope, courtyard. Okay. Deep Space Nine is great. If you want never-ending Ferengi, I really like the rules of acquisition. I did start Deep Space Nine and I only watched like a few episodes. I watched a few episodes back in the day and got off of it. I think it moves slower. Like they're not going places. That's kind of makes it a little rough. You know, there's not the exploration, but you do have a guy kind of serving as like the peacekeeper. It's almost like a Western more that, you know, hooligans are showing up in town and you got Sheriff Cisco over there sorting it out. You know, that's really kind of how it feels. Corridor. Let's see. Pantry. Is that going to make a route for me, or is that going to be a dead end? You son of a bitch. No going back once you draft. Bridget, please pick up some more fruits before Friday, as we have just been informed that we may have an extra guest exploring the house next week. 50 steps should be more than enough, so I think an even spread would be ideal. 5 apples, 5 bananas, 5 oranges. The enclosed amount should cover expenses, but please bring back any change from the order and leave it in the pantry. No climbing. I set the timer. KJ Gaming, hi, we're playing Blueprints. Blueprints. It's kind of hard to, you know, say one and not the other, right? Well, we have to call it a day. I've got no choice. I'm out of rooms I can draft. Progress? Kind of hard to say. I'm curious if I'll be able to keep that compass. If I don't, I'm going to be pissed. Tomorrow you will awake, and as well as your current inventory will have been reset. That really kind of sounds sucky. Don't worry about being late. It's all right. We're just trying to chill. We're just taking it easy here. At what point am I going to unlock an achievement? People are finishing this shit. Kinda. Cisco just isn't a very captivating captain. Not much personality beyond... Well, he was a commander for, I think, most of the show, right? KJ Gamer, now you're not liking the Silksong review? Didn't you get here by not liking the Silksong review? I'm kind of confused. I respect the 2.5 rating, but I think you should have said that the game wasn't for you. Perhaps now, you know, going forward, a lot of people are saying this, the game just wasn't for you. I'm hearing that almost as frequently as Get Good. So when I do slam a game, maybe I need to say, oh, also the game wasn't for me. But I feel like I'm capable of reviewing movies that are not for me. I can review games that are not for me. I don't have a genre I prefer or need to play. I appreciate quality. So, I mean, you know, I can watch good animes. I don't want to watch the bad ones. I can differentiate between them. I don't I wouldn't say I like sci-fi movies. There's a lot of bad sci-fi movies. I think horror probably has the most bad entries of the major subgenres of that, but you know, that's just the way I kind of see that. Save and continue. Also, no, I don't know about the Silksong review until now. You didn't know about the Silksong review? I thought that's how people were coming by my channel to watch the streams. Well, the good news is Silksong is behind us. I've got a little bit of offline mop up, you know. Probably need to find some memory lockets. That's going to be a lot of fun. Let's go this way first. All right, so the rules of the game are you go forward. Well, hold up here. The closet's a bad deal. You don't get anything out of that. We have a puzzle. At least one is always telling the truth. At least one's always lying. I might not chat much because I'm doing the speedrun achievement. Oh my god. Praise be Yevon. Speedrun. Consider trying the Okay, are you speedrunning plus steel souling? Because that might be a worthwhile venture. I think you only really need to get the Act 2 ending. But consider this. If you were doing the speedrun Steel Soul, you might be able to still use the previous autosave exploit. This game is Blueprints. Blueprints. It's giving me a lisp, honestly. So we have a puzzle here. The statement on the white box is true. There is a second wind-up key in this room. This guy might be lying. This box and the white box are both empty. Well, if we find a second wind-up key in this room, which I doubt because that would give us 2 chances to open boxes. If we find a second wind-up key, we would know that this box is telling the truth. I don't think that this is correct. This one's lying. One of these has to be telling the truth. I already died twice, so no, it's no Steel Soul. Oof, that's a big time setback. And no, you can't use the autosave exploit because the save file is immediately deleted. I'm glad I'm not doing that. However, it is going to be a black mark having this big, I don't know, what is it? 680 points or something? I got a ton of points towards the end of the game. Oh, come on. 645. I can get that up to maybe 700, I think, with the mop up. But there's a lot of stuff there that's going to be beyond the realms of Fantasia. I'm not dealing with. Yeah, so this is a puzzle game where you are trying to get from the entrance hall to this chamber to collect your great uncle's fortune in 1993. And as you go to rooms, you decide what the room is going to be. You have a little bit of RNG, and you try to collect stuff along the way. I did lose my compass. That sucks ass. All your stuff resets each day, but I'm sure you're going to learn something or get some permanent abilities that allow you to get through this. Okay, pretty sure this guy's lying. One of these guys has to be telling the truth. This box and the white box are both empty. The statement on the white box is true. I think this one has the stuff. I only see one wind-up key. So the fact that there isn't a second wind-up key in the room means this one's lying. which means this one's lying, which means this one's telling the truth, which means this one has gems. Insert. One of the things you guys don't know about me was back in the 90s, around the time of this game, I was in this gifted class thing in Oklahoma where they did things a little bit different, where they just had a bunch of like 10-year-olds solving murder mysteries or trying to, like, hey, maybe if we had the fresh perspective of these like ingenious kids, they can solve murder mysteries. So that was a special program, and we met one day a week at 1 day a week in school. We would be out of our class to go to the like FBI crime solving division precog. So that was a thing that happened. And there would be like logic puzzle type stuff. I don't think they have that anymore. I don't know. I think the police don't like kids solving their crimes. I need to look at this stuff before I go opening things. We make that a circle, we're going to have a problem. Let's make that a storeroom. Because now, yeah, if it circled back, I might have just screwed myself there. A little bit, and I don't have a way forward, but I have stuff I can collect. We have a lock on that one. I don't believe there was anything else. There were things like, oh, hey, this guy. I think a lot of it was like hypothetical in a way, about people transporting goods illegally and finding dead bodies, but the floor is wet, and it's like, oh, the guy was standing on ice and hung himself. Kind of weird shit to bring up for kids, but yeah, that's what we did. They called it gifted. Like, also, hey, check out the Sweet Madonna shirt. I put the Madonna shirt I got in the mail today, and I was like, oh, hey, she's got this song True Blue, and this game's called Blueprints. And then I go into a room and it said the blue box is true, and I'm like, whoa. Let's go to the den. Open this up a little bit. I need to keep a better eye on where I'm headed here with stuff. All right, so we've got that. No need to dilly-dally. There's really not puzzles in the rooms, per se. Opportunity to earn coins and spread coins, huh? Where are you dying at, KJ? I'm glad 5 hours is pretty easy to get. Oh, 5 hours? Oof, I don't know. You're gonna have... The last judge may put a stop to that shit. Oof, look at that computer. Welcome to Mount Holly, home office. Press enter. Run payroll, spread gold in estate, log into network. After running this process, checks will be placed in each staff member's room, including each servant's quarters and maid's chamber currently on the estate. Sure. Payroll, everybody got paid. Cool. Spread gold in the estate. The office can facilitate a modest distribution of coins withdrawn from the staff incentives program. These coins are distributed in a number of rooms currently active throughout the estate. Spread the gold now. There you go. You spread it. The last judge is free. I'm just dying to the... What do you mean free? You can beat the last judge without taking damage, because you're not going to have time to collect all the mask shards to gain mask. I mean, you're going to be kind of screwed. What do you start with? Do you start with 6? I'm sure there's videos you can follow, but then you're going to be led to a boss, which is going to defeat you with RNG unless you really know your shit. And with them taking off 2 masks worth of damage, you've got to look at a quit out when you still have 2 health. Like, I hope you can get that. I hope you can buy the. You have time to go through Hunter's March and get that cracked mask, Oh, no, we don't know no password. Oh, shoot me. Wow, possibilities here. Oof. See, that's knowledge you're going to gain somewhere that you can then use. Upgrade disk. Insert into one of the estate terminals to permanently upgrade one of your floor plans. Now that sounds like an achievement, buddy. Hold on here. No. Don't. Let's exit. Hold on. Did it say why? Insert disk. What did that? Storeroom data has been found. Oh, yeah, I don't know what that does. You will now have the chance to permanently enhance this room to one of 3 different upgraded floor plans. Select a floor plan below to upgrade this room. Well, if it had another route, that'd be great. Well, look at that. 10 coins. That could be pretty handy. You start with 5. Most bosses in this game are super reliable. You say that, and yet I got dicked down pretty hard by most of them. I think the ones you're required to take out may have a better tell or frames to project their tell than the ones that you aren't going to need to face. Like, you do not actually need to face down. What direction am I facing? Okay. You don't have to face down what's the First Sinner or Lost Lace. You don't have to do that. So you should be fine. In fact, the last boss is going to be a pushover. Whenever you enter game 2, courtyard. Whenever you draft a bedroom, game 5. Let's go this way. Okay, we're looking all right. Let's head over here. How about a pantry, a passage? Ooh. 5 masks. There's a banana. Yeah, 5 bananas, 5 orange. And I don't know where we're getting the other stuff. They don't stay with me. Maybe there's a box you can put this stuff in that it's permanent. Like, you'll get some kind of... The way these kind of games go, like, what was it called? 21 Minutes? With Daisy Ridley and James McAvoy. And the guy who's always in vampire movies. Weird looking guy. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, I do have to do those because there's an achievement for 100% under... You're doing everything, KJ, huh? So you're eventually going to Steel Soul it, huh? Let's see. We could go... That could be a good room right there. Yes, excellent. Okay. Let's stick to the inside here. Doors in the west wing are more likely to be locked. We don't really have a compass. Imagine them trying to make a movie of this. Whenever you enter, you gain whatever the hell. I did everything in Hollow Knight, so I'm doing everything in Silksong. You know, shoot. After Silksong, I almost feel like I could do everything in Hollow Knight. But I don't feel like I could do everything in Silksong, if that makes sense. This may be a game that I just do a first impressions of and then review. Like, we'll see what happens here. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. I think I need to go forward, just straight. Yeah, corridor is always left unlocked. What? All right, we're making progress. Ooh, a passageway. Oh my god, no. That could be good. That gives me 2 extra doors. A chapel. Where'd all your views from previous streams go, by the way? What do you mean, where'd they go? Viewers? Oh, the viewers. I don't know. I think that's the problem with streaming a variety of stuff is people kind of want to watch one thing, but I like doing the first impression. And in some cases, you know, if I outright buy a game, a lot of times we're probably going to convert that into a full playthrough. I'm probably not going to do Galaxy. We're probably looking at doing Resident Evil 4 remake or Dead Space next. Tomorrow, maybe. Haven't really decided. I think those are the same pictures on each side. The last time I was in here. All right, let's head to the right. We're still moving. Ooh, it's locked. Well, luckily I have a key. Atticus was here until you showed up. I know it gets pretty late for him. Coat check. Check one item and retrieve it on another day. That's kind of cool. Unfortunately, that means I'm going to have to come back to the coat check to get it. I don't have any... shit. We'll have to go back to the coat check. Well, I got the final bell shrine, so it's time for the last... Really? Moving along. Good luck with that last judge. You said it's free. Okay. Go through here. We need to get a cool item. We could also hit that hallway. In fact, might be better off hitting that hallway, look for a cool item, put it in the coat check. Is that going to require a key? Bunk room. This room counts as 2 bedrooms. Sure. 2.5 hours in. I think you might be making good time. When I'm 2.5 hours in, I'm rage quitting in Hunter's March. But, you know, with some experience, right? Things change a little bit. Why the hamster? Why a teepee? Why the Atari VCS? Yes, I said VCS and not 2600. It wasn't a 2600 until the what? 5200 came out? I mean, that'd be like saying PS1. They didn't call it a PS1 back in the day. They had a PS1 that came out when the PlayStation 2 was out. It was smaller, you know, we call them slim now. But it was kind of an uglier looking thing. I don't think people like it. did have an attachment you could buy with an LCD that flipped up, you know, on the disc changer, so you could kind of make it portable. Let's use a key. Do you have Atari 2600 or an Atari VCS? Because the 2600 is what they later called it, with the later stages of it. And then for some godforsaken reason, everybody insists on calling it that still. Oof, I'm a little screwed here. That's not a good direction to be going. We may be running out of rooms. I don't have anything to give the coat check. Dining room. Each day a meal is served in the dining room after rank 8 has been reached. I'm rank 5? What am I doing? Now it says rank 4. Okay, so this is different versions. I guess if you go to the dining room enough times, it'll upgrade the dining room. We need a room that turns to the right. GL with the last judge. Oh, I'm cut off. Green rooms do not cost. Yeah, well, I don't have any. No choice. I'm cut off. We'll coat check the banana. That's all the doors. Can't take the shoes. So the bad thing with the chapel is you're going to have to unlock some doors. You do not currently have a unique item. Oh my god. Wasted that. We're going to have to call it a day. I'm curious how you're going to handle the last judge here. You might have just beaten him by now. Her, you know. Oh, also, I am aware that the chat's not working through Restream. I don't know what the problem is with that. Because if it usually when it doesn't work, it's probably an OBS thing, but it would give like a big solid block there. Here I can see it looking fine, so I figured we were good. Hell, it even says it's ready to display messages. That's the bad part. Still making progress, at least. I don't think I can touch that antechambers. That's probably a ways off. KJ, you gotta keep me up to date here on your last judge fight. You've only died like a few times, right? So last judge was like at least a 5-hour battle. Then I swapped a wanderer. I don't even know if on your speedrun you're gonna have a wanderer crest. Okay, how come I don't seem to have a compass here? I haven't done the breaker room yet. Oh, now you're going to give me a compass. Well, some indicator. Oh, I have done these. Key card. This game's it is unique, Hero. It is certainly, I gotta give it that. Okay, look, you're about to see a little bit of this. Now, yes, it does have that cell shade look. It has a bit of an Annapurna walking sim thing going on, and there isn't like a heap of puzzles, but it also kind of feels like, was it called like 21 minutes or 20 minutes with Daisy Ridley and young Professor X? So you walk into this mansion, your great uncle's bequeathing you his fortune if you can get to the end of the mansion. Each room there's a roguelite element to this. You got to figure out where you want to go, and you want to try to draft a room on the blueprint. It's called Blueprints. Tongue twister almost. You want to try to draft rooms that are going to have doors that'll get you through, but you also need to get gems and keys, and sometimes there is a puzzle. So, okay, so we're going to go with the hallway here. That should give us open doors. The problem with the chapel is you got to unlock these doors. So see how there's doors there, but the chapel there's doors and they're locked. Guest bedroom gives you more footsteps to travel, but this being in a ideal situation. You beat the last judge. Sorry, it was a long fight because I forgot to get the free nail upgrade. I don't even recall which one's a free nail upgrade. Oof, bedroom. I don't think that's going to lead anywhere. Now, once you pull up this screen, yeah, the bedroom. Oh, okay, so it will show you. The bedroom's going to have a cutoff door. So I'm kind of just screwed over there. Closet. There's 2 items in the closet. Well, let's go to the closet then. Look at that. We got our dice. We can summon. I might just be looking at a first impressions video of this tonight, and then tomorrow we can maybe get started on some spooky theme thing, like be it a Resident Evil 4 of some variety playthrough. I don't know if we want to do that, or maybe Dead Space. Dead Space might be better. I've only played like the first mission or chapter in the original Dead Space on the 360 through EA Play. But in the same, it was a first impressions deal. I haven't played the remake, the remaster. I've heard it's good, so maybe a full playthrough of that would actually be better. I'm not gonna go to Act 2 yet because I want to get the needle upgrade. Yeah, but how far out of your way is that? Because Hero, he's doing a speed run. He has to beat the game in 5 hours, and he's at 2.5 hours. So he just entered Act 2. I think he can do this. I'm not sure what all you need to do. You're going to have to get all the songs so that you can then take on the Act 2 boss and get the bad ending, which will give you an ending, which is kind of what you're looking for. Ivory die. While drafting, you may use the dice to roll new floor plans. Okay, nice. None of your items carry over, so you have to be pretty careful about stuff. It said there was 2 items in here. I only saw 1. Not getting that. All right, well, I did get dice. It says 2 items, doesn't it? Closet, 2 items. There was 1 dice. Oh, shoes. Occasionally save footprints when traveling long distance across the estate and grounds. Oh, wait. Walking in and out of that's costing me? Shoot. I thought it was just when you walk into a new one. Also, the only tools I have are compass, straight pin, druid's eye, and warding bell. Oof. Yeah, that's the speedrun life right there. Keeper says, I'm someone who thinks the original space is superior. Well, I do have access to that. And it's a game I kind of need to complete because it's EA Play. Would be losing that by not signing up for $30 a month Game Pass. Also, I just gonna use the Bell Beast to make it take like 2 minutes to get the upgrade. You might have, oh, man. Can you beat the game without getting the Bell Beast? That's a question. So as long as I'm in this room, it's not costing me footsteps. But you change rooms, footsteps cost. Not liking either of these. Okay, so here's the puzzle, and I've been pretty successful with this. There's a wind-up key. There's 3 boxes. At least one always tells the truth. At least one always tells a lie. All right, so one of them said there was a second wind-up key, and I realized it was lying. All right, let's see here. The gems are not in the white box. Bell Beast is a required fight. I thought it might have been. I wasn't sure. The gems are not in this box. The gems are in this box. At least one's lying, at least one's telling the truth. I think only one box has gems, if I recall. Only one box has a prize. So if one of them says that 2 boxes have a prize, it's lying. Yeah, the other stations for the Bell Beast are going to be optional. Yeah, I've heard people say, oh, we're eating good this year, game of the year, and then they were mentioning blueprints. So I thought it might have been worth a shot. It is certainly more of the, slower pace. It's kind of giving me some narcolepsy. Well, that could be the Red Bull. Red Bull kind of puts me down too. Well, not Red Bull so much. Some of the other energy drinks. Rockstar puts me in a coma. Oh, this is a bad blueprint, really. This one's going to get cut off pretty quick. The gems are it's probably not even going to matter. I'm probably not even going to get to use the damn gems, as bad as this blueprint is. Gems are not in the white box. The gems are not in this box. Somebody's telling the truth here. Or both of them are lying. The gems are in this box. Possibly both of them are lying. Let's put it in here. Empty. Oof. Big oof. And basically cut off. Yeah, so is Mario Galaxy? I'm hearing it's Mario Galaxy 2 that has the problem with the pointer stuff. By the way, I got the Sweet Madonna shirt today. Thought it looked pretty cool. I guess Mario Galaxy 1 doesn't have the Wii pointer issue. It's a Galaxy 2 that requires a Wii-like pointer, and so you have to use the controller in a weird way. The Yuka Replay, I have some reservations. It does not look like it's coming close to 60 FPS on the Switch 2, and that looks very much like it's a game within the Switch 2's ballpark. I've seen the comparison with the PS5, which is clearly running it at 60. And so that is something to be concerned about. The shoes stopped me from losing the steps. Oh, I wasn't looking. I think we may be good with the spare room. Yes. Oh, this is like the ring. No, get the tape. Patio, we can... Oh, gym required. I'm already screwed. Already screwed. Gotta call it a day. No blueprints. No doors. Terrible job. It runs on PS5 good, but yeah, it's a complete different game. I would have thought that the 3D platformers would have been in the purview of the Switch too, like easily. But I mean, there's games that don't seem that cracked with power, like South of Midnight, that I just don't see running on the Switch 2. It's pretty apparent there are things going on in South of Midnight that the Switch 2 I haven't been seeing. So certainly not at 60 FPS. Gonna lose my running shoes. No. Let's give this one more try, guys. And hopefully I can not get an achievement. So I can just, I don't know, slam the game in a review and not feel compelled to complete it or something. You know, I think this is actually pretty unique. But I will say it's just not for me or something like that, right? If I have to. Might need to update my my screen over here. Shopkeeper, I know there's some kind of error with Restream or OBS not communicating, so the chat's not appearing on screen, but you guys can see it in the on YouTube. Maybe that means it's not. Maybe I'm not streaming to Twitch properly. Should be. Says it appears that it is. Now I'm getting clips for that review. I don't think I could outright slam this. I think there are some really interesting things happening here, but boy, is it at a slower pace. Big time. You died again. Venturing? Did you get your nail upgrade? It's never only the basic enemies. I didn't die to those a heap later in the game. I would think if I was trying again, I'd probably be okay. The issue would be the hunter and his lack of real pogo would be a big problem. No, I put Pauline there because the chat got wrecked. Also, Shopkeeper. Upgraded my phone's OS today. Finally, I was concerned about losing the access to an app that kind of grandfathered in called Bizart. I've been making my thumbnails with. Otherwise, you have to pay through the nose to get a good thumbnail app on a phone. But anyway, I did that so that I could access Grok Imagine, which has the capability to animate my cartoon of me with the red hood and the yellow shirt. And I've got a sample of it you can kind of see here.
Nice.
The idea being I would blue screen that out of the way. I'm going to have to run, it's going to be hard to do because I can't actually get it to render a blue background and a green background so that I can get the colors all on the same page. I started with the green, and to use the green screen chroma key, being that because I'm not, I no longer have one of the Pro. I used to have Final Cut Pro, but I'm not screwing with it or signing up for a monthly pay for Premiere Pro. But being that you have some limitations on your keying for chroma key in iMovie, be it on the Mac or on the phone, I'm dancing around that a little bit, but I might be able to incorporate some new animations in those videos. And seeing as what I was able to get Grok Imagine to do, I'm thinking some of my bigger videos working on the Rise and Fall of Action movies, the Scream trilogy. I wrote the Scream trilogy script yesterday, and I may just record that voiceover after the stream and use the Grok guy, the Grok animations in clips I get from the movie. It should come out pretty good. It should look, I mean, some of the resolution's not great on those, but oh man, it's going to be really hard to get that to work because I can't make a second pass of the same. It won't animate the thing again the same way with a different background. And it's kind of screwing up the color of my hoodie. I'm hoping I can get it to work. I'm just saying, I think it'll look pretty impressive. You like the Hunter's Crest, so that's not a problem. So if you like the Hunter's Crest, that speedrun is for you, I guess. If for me, I don't think I could manage. Key. And we're looking to go straight. We can go straight in the spare room. Seven days. Oof. Dead end. Guest bedroom it is. I might not shoot video for a while. I might rely on the, do the live streams and the guy with the animations. We'll see. Oh my god, I almost died to the enemy gauntlet again. I don't know which enemy gauntlet. That's the problem. Can you avoid the slab? Is the slab optional? Because the slab would set you back time-wise. This guy's talking about darts game. I haven't seen the billiard room yet. Each room I pass through, you lose a step. Running out of steps has not been a problem, but if you got pretty far in there, I could see that being an issue. Man, that's leads to a room of a color of your choice, requires gem. I haven't done that yet, so let's just try it. Secret passage. You pull one of these and it'll lead to the room. Now, I haven't pulled one of these rooms yet, so what's going to happen? Slab is optional. I thought it might have been, because people are like, oh no, you screwed up. That's going to cost you some time. Special cost bypass shower room. Aquarium is every color of room. A laundry room. I do have a gym. Let's go with the aquarium. See what this looks like. Hello. Any of you got a lucky fin? Not the most realistic looking fish. Oh, I can only go left. Oh, now that is the kind of door you want on your aquarium right there, boys. That's kind of cool. I don't have money to lose. Can I enter the chapel? Well, since I'm broke, it doesn't matter. Tithing the poor gets you nothing. All right, I'm quickly running out of rooms here. Let's look over here, see if we can get something useful. Gem. Coins. Small coin purse. Each time you collect 3 coins, earn an additional 1 in interest. That's totally how a coin purse works. Totally. Pictures up here. Yep, it's all a little randomized. All right, we have to do the bedroom or the parlor. I want to do a puzzle. All right, now we know the rules. This is the blue box. That's a true statement. This one's telling the truth. The blue box is true. That is also a true statement. The blue box is empty. At least one of them is lying. The blue box, therefore, has the gems. And away we go. Knew it. Oh, I should have looked over here. I think. Let's go West Wing for the heck of it. Yeah, I figured I needed to go kind of up. Why did that look blocked off? They talked about the West Wing. Something about the West Wing rooms, something, whatever, once a day. I don't, kind of creepy. Dark room. You cannot see the floor plans while drafting in this room. Sounds cool. Let's give it a shot. This almost, they say dark room, but, you know, I'm getting kind of a morgue vibe just about. Man, I can still smell vellum and fixer and shit from trying to do this sort of stuff in a class in middle school. I don't even think they bother putting kids around chemicals anymore. Cannot see. This one requires 2 gems, which makes it an intriguing possibility. Let's do it. What do we got? Secret passageway, huh? It's a passageway. Is it that secret? Oh, it may have regrets here. Furnace. You are more likely to draw red rooms. Patio. Spread the gems in each green room. I think we actually need this. We're on the outside here. This will give us some stuff to progress. don't think there's anything else there. Plus, what is it? Footstep or something? All right. Gonna need, well, don't have to have something forward, but would be good. Archives. While drafting, you will no longer be able to see all three of the potential for. Fine with me, it points up. I wonder if you can get a journal in here. Marigold wins Herald Literary Honor. Popular children's writer Marion Marigold adds yet another feather to her scholastic cap when she discovered on Thursday that her picture book, Swimbird, had been chosen as the Herald Literary Medal Illustrated Book of the Year. This is Marigold's second time winning this prestigious honor. The previous medal was, of course, for her debut effort. She was no stranger to the public eye. Even before her literary success, the niece and closest living relation to Baron H.S. Sinclair, Mary began using Marigold as a pen name to free her from the political association that one might make with the Sinclair name. Oof. I made it to the best place to get rosaries in the game. I can finally buy maps easily. You may be in a situation where you are required to know the layout to save time by not buying the maps, you know? That's kind of tough. Let's see. Is that 1985 and 1986, I hope? January 27th, Swimbird author never considered herself successful. Though if that's a 1986, why is that guy got that kind of hat? She confided, my son was the one that actually got me to start writing. I'd always challenged myself to never tell him the same story twice at bedtime. So as soon as we ran out of books we owned, my imagination had to take over from there. Man, you better tell the kid to skip some bedtime readings because that'd be some work. 5 hours is not that tight of a time restraint, so I can definitely buy maps. Okay, if you say so. Marigold has collaborated in previous interviews that her debut book, Red Prince, is Blueprints one of her books, is based on her son and his inflexible love of the color red, a statement that has been held with such skepticism by the many pundits that viewed that book as a rather thinly veiled political critique of the Royalist Party and their unwavering blind loyalty to the throne. Publisher and author detained by Red Guard questioned. Caleb Manning and his publisher Philip White were two of the 36 names that appeared on a leak dossier naming them as a person of interest in the Trinsdale bombing and killed 4 people last Tuesday. Although no group has come forth to officially take responsibility of the attack, it is widely believed by authorities to be work of the insurgent group RLCF, who also call themselves the Children of Black Water. Why RLCF? Ruffington Press. That might be a cipher. Oh, if you know what the R is, then that's the, an R is actually a T, something like that. Ruffington, maybe make note of that actually. Ruffington Press was quick to dismiss the rumors in the statement released on Friday, maintaining that the popular author and Mr. White were simply victims of an unfortunate happenstance, whatever that means. This would not be the first time that the publishing house has defended a rogue employee. 3 years ago, an associate editor with the company was arrested for criminal conspiracy, though the charges were later dropped. Now, here's one thing to consider when you're doing one of these almost like Memento type games. You start all over fresh each time. A little Groundhog Day, right? The knowledge you gain carries over. Keep that in mind. How big is this book? How many pages? Marigold drops publisher, local author, and popular personality. Marion Marigold has announced a split from her longtime publishing partner, Ruffington Press, citing personal reasons. The announcement came after the arrest last week of fellow author. This is not the same tempo as a Silksong, that's for sure. The announcement came after the arrest last week of fellow author and colleague Caleb Manning, who Marigold has past referred to as her mentor, friend, and confidant. Marigold is the third prominent writer to distance themselves from the publisher this week. Manning and White at press function. Was seen at the corner, suspicious bag under the wave down a local man, the third major last year. It is anticipated, charged the Crown. Manning was last. Who cut that out? God's sake, this keeps going. No trace is discovered of Cinca Eris, but search continues. Mary Matthews Jones, the author and illustrator whose fanciful stories are written under the pen name Marion Marigold, was last seen by a close friend. She went missing. 3:45 p.m. Friday, getting into a carriage. This has to be 1887. After a late luncheon, they didn't have luncheons in 1987. Date at the 100 Bells. They didn't have bells in 1987, not anymore. Tea room in Trinsdale. Mrs. Jones never arrived home, and the carriage driver cannot be located. Family and local authorities are very concerned, but have not deemed the case foul play. It's an out-of-character incident at this point, and we are seeking information. Going missing is a good way to go. To go missing, I don't know where they could be. You know, that missing is the new dying. Missing is the new murdered. Priceless jewels stolen in dramatic Royal Museum heist. Thieves, maybe she stole the jewels and left there. Let's see, what date? February, huh? And that doesn't even say a year. This one. Thieves in the royal capital of Fen Ares have broken into one of the Crown's fabled closed exhibits. These lavish rooms have historically been reserved exclusively for the use of the aristocracy. Aristocracy? Something's bothering me. I think I cut my gum on, I don't know, an eggshell or something. And high peerage and access has never been granted to those outside noble circles, at least not until today, as local police and forensics experts have been spotted in virtually every corner of the museum grounds dredging for clues. The museum authorities said they were alerted in the middle of the night by reports of several masked intruders seen breaching the south wall and brandishing firearms. The intruders broke into the museum, subdued the royal guard, and disabled the security system. By the time the military arrived on the scene, the burglars had simply vanished. That might be simply safe then. Although an official registry of the lost jewels, perhaps we're looking for lost jewels now. I don't know. And maybe that's the jewels I'm getting, are these lost jewels. Has not been publicly announced. Among the treasured artifacts rumored to be stolen is the renowned ruby crown of Orinda Ares. Ares, the priceless crown jewel whose material worth pales in comparison to the historic value. If these rumors are true, the evidence may suggest that the thief was politically motivated. Finally, we finished reading that. Oof. Okay, we can head right or left. It don't much matter. This is up. I would prefer we exhaust right and left before leaning on up. Archive floor plan, confidential? Sure. Furnace. You are more likely to draw red rooms. Ooh, scary. KJ, how's it going? You got your upgrades? Are you ready to rock? Are you going to be able to get an extra mask? You don't, by virtue, just get an extra mask, right? It's always the shards, I believe. use. Maid's chamber. Is it hot? It's like everything's steaming over here. Less likely to find items laying around in your house. Power source. That sounds intriguing. I have gems. Cool. We're getting kind of close. No jumping. Let's put that in the green for the hell of it. Okay, that's got to lead somewhere. You're going to stay 5 masks? Yes, I got my upgrade like 2 minutes after I said I would. Right now I'm doing the cog dancers. Already, wow. The cog dancers are pretty manageable, though. Highly telegraphed moves. Okay, I turned on the thing. That door, that's kind of on, but I'm gonna have to come back around to it. All right, we want to snake around. Want to head right. Locked. Oh my shit. Man, we actually could be in a situation here where we end up running low. Oh no. All right, West Wing, I hope you're open for me. Oh man, I need a key. And I'm in here deep enough, I could go back and still have some rooms available. Like, I've carved a pretty good run here. Lavatory. Let's go with the archive. Maybe something will have a key. Gain 2 steps, so it's kind of a wash. Oh. What? Car keys. What does that do? You beat him. Nice. Is that locked? Son of a... Okay, I'm running out of footsteps. I'm actually going to be a little low on footsteps. I think this is locked. Okay, you may draw new floor plans while drafting in this room. Whenever you draft a bedroom, gain 5 steps. I need a key. Let's go with the archive. Not getting a key in here. Shit. Ah, man, this looked like such a good run for me. Oh, that's actually cut off. This may be it. If I don't get a key. Ah. Items for sale, fine. A gem, a sledgehammer for 8. What will a sledgehammer do for me? This is probably an achievement. Now I'm going to be compelled to finish the damn game. Can shatter padlocks on locked trunks. Would have been nice. After I buy it, it tells me what it can do. You're now at 3 hours. Nice. I think you're on a good pace here. You're probably. Do you have one of the melodies already for beating a cogfly, or how does that go? I don't need gems. I needed a key, and I don't have a key. Oh, my run ended, and I was getting there, too. Ain't no sledgehammer in that. Nope. Oh, that sucks. This is kind of a good setup, though. Like, okay, you want to read that? It's kind of small. Just mouse over it. Okay. You have no melodies right now. All right. Are you going to be contingent on needing some silk hearts, though? There might be optional bosses to get the silk hearts, so you might be having to avoid that. Just for the time reasons. Was that really locked? It sure doesn't look like it should be locked, does it? I don't know. Maybe it's random if some things are locked. But I'm pretty sure I was cut off. I don't think I can walk back over there. I might get lucky and find a trunk. Have to go this way. Also, I got 100% on that Spanish test that was at stake. Nicely done. I remember L'Entente por favor, which is like, please stand up. And that's honestly all I remember of Spanish. Oh, nothing breakable here. I'm down to 8 steps. Hell, there's probably an achievement for running out of steps. I'm going to end up getting a damn achievement in this and compelled to finish. Can I smash? Can I smash one of these? It gave me this locked crap, but it sure looks like an open door in this picture. That is irritating and going to get docked some points in the review. Oh. Kind of looked like what I needed to do was kind of like sneak. If I could get a door unlock, go here, this way. And then from here, I'd be able to go up, and that was probably, you know, just shoot your way into the chamber. Let's see what happens if you run out of steps. Hell, maybe if you had the flashlight, it would turn out there was stuff here for you to get. Zero. Oh no. You have used all your steps and must call it a day. You have pushed yourself to the very edge of exhaustion. Oh, so much exhaustion, guys. Walking around in a manner. And must now return to your campsite to get some rest. You can continue your search tomorrow. However, the house might be a little bit different. Oh, you died to a gauntlet. You got to do better with the gauntlets, man. But that's the thing. I think the gauntlets are handled by the pogo ability. Your hunter crest is not helping you in battling the gauntlets. So I think we're ready to call it a stream on this. Intriguing. An intriguing game if one has Game Pass and is willing to give it a look. I mean, I'm far from, you know, accomplishing shit in it, and it's been 2.5 hours. So it's like a 20-something buck game, under 25. You may be getting your money's worth with it in some capacity. But I know I'm kind of getting my butt kicked, so you know we'll hit exit here, save and quit. See if the game doesn't push an achievement on me to make me feel bad. But yeah, it's weird. It's like there's a story, but it's not really being thrown at you, right? It's like a puzzle game, but you don't feel like there's a ton of puzzles in the rooms. I was expecting each room to have a puzzle. Instead, getting through the mansion is the puzzle. And there's going to be a fair bit of RNG. It looks like there's going to be some ways to retain some skills so you can work your way through. Pretty intriguing little game there. Maybe not so streamable, but yeah, I don't really hate it by any means. So I'm gonna have to think about that. Maybe play it a little bit more before I come to a full assessment. I've got a little bit to do. I need to, shoot some video, record something or whatever. You do realize that saving and quitting has the same run back as just dying, right? In this game, you start over each time, so save and quit is the same as dying, inherently. But, I mean, you don't really die, you save and quit. That was the option, save and quit or save and continue. You made it this far, wait until marriage. Counseling. Yeah, I've got a few things I need to take care of. I got to shoot some video or just record a voiceover. And I'm hoping, oh, you mean in Silksong? Saving and quitting has the same run back. Yeah, because it puts you at the bench or autosave, essentially. But you said that if you die in a Steel Soul, you can't use the autosave pull up, but could you pull up the autosave before you die? and just, hard quit the game, then pull up an autosave if you made a mistake so that you could go a different path or something. I'm just kind of wondering about that. Oh, let me see what the situation is over here with, hold on, I'm going to turn this on for a sec. I think that I have the Dead Space. We may do Dead Space soon. Look at this. Game Pass says, don't be afraid of the dark. Man, Senua's Saga got an update with 60 FPS. That could be kind of cool. I own this. Is it update? I believe it's updated and ready to play. No time at all. If I go to the store, it was cheap. Like this was like an $5 or $8 game, less than a year old. Like it was crazy. It was cheaper than that even. Like ridiculously cheap when I picked it up. Pretty high regards. I think this might be our creepy October game, guys. The way I see it. Because honestly, look, 4.7 overall. If we pull up Resident Evil, it's going to... And there, I'm not doing a Code Veronica. That shit. I've already done a playthrough of that. I can't recall if I did a playthrough stream of 4. Surely I did. I know I've done most of them. Village. Where the hell? I'm just wondering what its score is in the store. Can I not? Here we go. Oh, what do you know? The store wants an update. $40 for this. Come on. 4.8. Ooh, people like this one better, and I kind of hate it. Oh yeah, I did buy the upgrade shit so that I can make these, when you do need to try your big run. I got the upgrade thing cheap. Well, actually maybe it wasn't. I was kind of forced to have to use the gold ticket, the exclusive upgrade ticket stuff, because I was getting cheesed so hard by a boss, I had to just, say screw it and get some advanced weaponry for the Separate Ways S+ rank. But yeah, I think Dead Space makes more sense. If you guys have other ideas, voice them somewhere in a comment or whatever. All right.